So this is another remake versus original video that I really kind of want to get my teeth into, because I think this one's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. It's the original version of Piranha from 1978 taking on the 2010 remake Piranha, technically 3D, but that was the remake of Piranha. So I'm going to sit down, watch both of them, and I'm going to let you know what I thought of them. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we start off with Piranha, the original version, and I've got to say it is a very 1978 classic horror movie, very much inspired by Jaws. So much so there's this mad part in it where at the very beginning of the film she's playing the Jaws computer game, the arcade game, and it's like that's a bit on the nose. It's kind of like this is the film we're going to be a lot like this movie, and they sort of shove it in your face a bit. And I thought it was a bit too much for me. I did enjoy parts of the film, a lot of it not so much, and this is where I'm going to be a bit confusing. So I thought I'd seen this movie before. I thought I'd sat down and watched a Piranha movie before, because me and my ex-wife used to joke about the noise the piranhas made. I'm sitting watching this film and I'm thinking, this doesn't look like the same film. And it was like really sort of like almost bugging me a bit, because I assumed there was only the two Piranha films. Turns out there's three Piranha films, two remakes and the original. In 1995 there was a remake, and that's the movie that I've seen. That's the one I've seen, and I remember the noise the piranhas make and all that, which was the running joke between me and my ex-wife. And it because they make this noise, it's like as they're sort of trying to eat people, and that stayed in my head. When I watched this film, I was like, where's the noise? Is it Mandela affecting? And I actually had to look it up, because then I realised I'd watched a different original Piranha movie. So that's why this video is going to seem a bit disjointed, because I thought I was going to be watching the 95 one as the original, but it turns out there was a previous original, which is the one I got. Anyway, so we're going to base it on that. Now, there's some weird things in this movie. So let's start off with the plot-wise of it. In this movie, you start off with these two teenagers break into this like research facility to go skinny dipping in their pool. Turns out that this is like a government research facility where they're trying to weaponize animals. And there's the weirdest part of this movie, because when because basically the two skinny dip also get eaten by the piranhas, and this leads to sort of like the a woman that's sort of like to do with missing persons turning up in the by the river where this has happened, in this facility, trying to find these two missing kids, and she gets helped out by a guy that sort of works on the river as well. And the bit that I thought was weird is there's a scene where they go into the research facility where the kids have gone missing, and there's this creature that walks around that you only see in that one scene, but it's the weirdest looking thing. It's like a fish that walks on its hind legs. It's got legs and arms and legs like a human would have, but it's got a fish head. It's about this big, and it's running across a counter. And I thought, that's got to go back to that later. Never see it again. But it's the best thing in the movie. This little creature, I was like, wow, it's kind of like one of those like sandhopper fish, but with proper arms and legs. And I thought it was bizarre why he'd throw that in. But anyway, so plot-wise, yes, I said that these two kids are in there. Then the basic how these piranhas escape, because obviously we know the plot of Piranha is that piranhas escape and eat people. That's the general thing. And these are weaponized piranhas. These are piranhas been genetically engineered to be more aggressive, to breed faster and attack. And that's their whole purpose. So that's what they try and do. So once a missing persons woman goes to a research facility and stupidly opens up a valve that releases them into the river, and you find out there's like two groups of people in the river. You've got a bit further down the stream, you've got a big group of kids at a summer camp, very Friday the 13th style. If you watch it, it looks like if you just watch those scenes, you'd think you're watching a Friday the 13th movie. And then you fast forward a bit further down the lake, and there's it's like a big sort of like leisure resort that all takes place around the thing. It's like a leisure, like people jump around in the water, sort of leisure complex thing, but it's on a river, so all the people are going to be in the river. And so they're the two sort of destinations, and we basically follow the film is then the fish are going down this river, these evil killer piranhas are going down the river, and they're killing random people on the way, but they're heading towards these kids. Now it turns out the person on the river that's helping the missing persons investigator woman, it's one of his kids is in the camp. And so you get a lot of scenes where sort of like you get our two like hero types, they're bombing it down the river trying to get to where these places are, and they keep coming across like victims. So they come across this old man victim who, to be honest with you, he shouldn't be dead anyway, because this guy's got his feet in the water. He's on a dock, he's got his feet in the water, And I get the piranhas would attack his feet, but surely if he just went, ow, I've been bit, and flipped himself out, he'd be safe. But instead he sort of just leaves his legs in order to get eaten, and he ends up bleeding to death because of the thing. You find out later. Bit weird that. And there's a couple of deaths and you think, well, that could have been avoided. Why did you do that? And some deaths, well, you should be dead, but you're not. Sort of, it's one of those type of films, you know, where you question more about it. So we've got the piranhas heading down there. They're heading down the stream as well. And then they come across the military at one point. So it turns out the military know about all this and they're coming to kind of stop it. But also the captain of the military is working with the owner of the resort and he wants to keep the resort open. It becomes very Jaws now. And the guy that's kind of like the mayor of Jaws is the next door neighbour from Gremlins. And Mr. Futterman, the one that gets like hit by his like plough machine thing, gets killed by the Gremlins with the plough. He's the guy sort of the mayor, Jaws mayor figure who wants to keep it open. And when he's phoned up and told, look, piranha on the way, they're going to attack people in the thing, he ignores it. And then the military guy says to him, yeah, just ignore all that. Don't worry about all that. But sadly, they're heading that way. So you get this whole scene with that. You get a scene where a young boy gets killed. A young boy and his dad are fishing the boat, and the dad gets eaten. But then the scientist is kind of responsible for genetic fish and trying to save him, and he gets eaten as well. So there's a lot of like hero deaths in this as well as normal deaths. And it's a lot of this deaths in this is very sort of like the fish killing scenes is actually very well done because it was 1978. So I know a little bit about piranhas. I used to work in a tropical fish shop, and we used to sell piranhas. And I know sort of how piranhas feed because I sort of once when I wanted to research them a little bit. And what piranhas do is they'll go in like they send like a scout in, they'll nibble something, go, oh yeah, that's food, or no, it's not food, hang on, it's not dead, we'll stay away from it. But they'll send one in, then send another one in, and then they all go in, and that's how they work, these piranhas. And they do this in the film, so they do a very good job of matching how piranhas really act in real life. A lot of creature feature films involve animals, sometimes change the way animals behave. This is actually, they're actually behaving like piranhas kind of do when they feed. They go a little frenzy thing. And when you see them attacking the people, you sort of see them like grabbing the skin, they're like that. So they're actually biting the way piranhas do, and you sort of see them wiggling like this. And it's kind of like sped up a little bit, but it does look quite real and quite good. For 1978, it looks really good. We then move on a bit. So we've got all this like craziness happening. And then you get to the scene where the kids are all in the water and the piranhas attack the kids. And I wasn't sure if they're actually going to, will they show them attacking the kids? And they do. These piranhas go for these kids. The kids are all getting beat up there. They're all out on the river with like these rubber dinghy things. And they're all in these big rubber dinghies. And of course they're getting eaten from underneath. And it's like, oh my God, it's like, oh. Sorry about that. My battery just died on my phone, so I had to stop recording. Yeah, so yeah, the kids are actually getting eaten. You actually see them. Oh, God, back again. Yeah, so the kids are actually getting eaten by like all the piranhas and stuff. You actually see them sort of their butts are sort of dicking the kids in the rings. They're sort of come up eating the kids, eating their legs, eating their arms and that. And then you see like these two counsellors are sort of like the real nice people, like the good hero type ones, are like trying to tell the kids to go to the shore, and they're stuck on a dinghy as well. And then the little girl who happens to be the daughter of the guy that is helping the missing person people on the river, she like gets a dinghy out and goes to save them, and then they're all sort of coming back. So some really good intense scenes, and it's sort of like, God, they're actually letting them eat kids like Jaws did it with that one kid. It's very rare that the kids actually get eaten. You can see them try and chew on the kids and that. And then later when you see that one of the kids have died, they put a blanket over a body, so you know one of the kids died as well. So it's real sort of like, oh, they're going there sort of thing, not just hanging back. We get a scene earlier on, which kind of is like ridiculous. So when the scientist guy dies trying to save a child, they keep his body on the boat. They've got, not a boat, so they've got like a raft. They string together a raft, like loads of planks of wood they string together. It's one of those. They've got one of those, and and they put the body on the boat. And because the blood's seeping through the boat and like onto the ropes, the piranhas are attacking the rope, and this whole thing sort of falls apart. And there's a couple of scenes where you think, well, they should be in the water now, not, but they're sort of standing on logs doing this. And it's like, oh, bollocks, you'll be in the water. There's no way you're still alive, you know what I mean? So very shocking that like some people are alive and they shouldn't be, and vice versa. So then we get to the sort of the big climax of the film. So they save the kids, and then we know that the next is this big party thing on the boat with this from this resort, and the piranhas. Then this is where they put all the makeup special effects into this end bit here, because this is where the piranhas just go mad on these people, and they're all in the water and they're all getting like ripped to pieces. You see like the rips of the bone, bits of skin come off the arms of the piranhas, like ripping it off and that. properly vicious stuff in this sort of 1978 horror, and it's quite like you're kind of like like, in a few of the scenes, like, oh, that's not nice. And this is where the film takes almost like, it's, to me, it's like they run out of tape by the end of it and like, you know, we're just going to film this really fast and we're going to end this film just like that. And it's a bit too quick for me. So they get, they're like, our heroes turn up, they're like, everyone's getting munched. What we need to do, we need to pollute the entire stream. This is their theory. They're going to pollute the entire river, like kill everything to kill these fish, because they've worked out that these fish live in both saltwater and freshwater. So if they get to the sea, they can go anywhere in the world and just sort of like take over. We know they're going to upbreed, they're going to wipe out ecosystems. They know this. So a bit further down the sea is like a sludge plant or something. I can't remember what they said. They kind of glazed over it. There's a place down the thing, and they can release a valve and just pump the whole lot full of pollution. This whole river will be flooded with pollution. And that's the only way they're going to be able to kill these piranhas. So then they go down. So our heroes sort of go past this carnage and then go to this place. Only the place is submerged underwater. There's been a big flood and it's underwater. So of course our hero has to go down. The guy that works on the river goes down in the water. They tie a rope to him really loosely. He goes down in the water, and if they count to 100, she's got to then yank him back. So that's the plan. So he goes down. He goes in. He starts turning this valve. Turns the valve. And next thing you know, all this sludge starts pumping out. But as he's doing the valve, the piranhas show up and start biting the crap out of him, all biting his back and biting his fingers. It's really horrible. And he's like, ah. And he's trying to do his thing. He's pumping this turning this like handle thing. And you see all the sludge come out. And then the woman upstairs, she counts to 100 and she just floors the boat, and he goes flying back through this glass window, attached to this rope, all chewed up. Comes up, and this is where I mean they end it really fast now. So he then comes up, goes back to the bit where like the hospital, and all you see, there's no speaking from the two heroes at all at this from now on. You see them by the boat. She gets him in the boat. She's giving him sort of like a little like, you're going to be okay sort of thing, and then you don't hear her speak ever again. And then you see him with his daughter, and he's just like, so he's like, is he dead or not? He looks like he's dead, but he's laying there, and his daughter's doing everything, just looking at him like this. And you see the woman that's the missing person, she's sort of looking at him like this as well. And then suddenly we go to an interview with one of the scientific soldier people, and she's like, we've contained it, it's all going to be okay, there's no more, it's all sorted now, don't worry about it. Try to sort of cover it up a little bit. And she just kind of weird look at the camera, and then you see like a beach later on, and the noise the prize in this film is like, and you see a beach at the sea, and it suddenly goes red, and you hear, and that's it. That's the end of the film, and the credits roll, and you're like, what? That's the end of the movie? And it's kind of shocking because you don't think that. You feel like there should be more movie. Like, let's just round this up a bit neater. But it's kind of like, yeah, that's it. Prize going, it's all over. And it's kind of like, one, it's kind of set up for a sequel, but not at the same time. It's like, it could be done now. Look at this beach. It's all turned red. Credits are rolling, but there might be piranhas that made it into the sea. And I'm like, ah. And I'm very confused because this is not the film I thought it was. Because as I said, I thought the original Piranha was the one from 1995 that I'd watched, but it turns out it's this one. And I remember thinking, like, it's kind of a flat film. It's all right. There's moments that are good. It's kind of flat. And considering what comes next, to me, obviously there was a 95 one. I'm not going to do the 95 one because one, I don't have the 95 one. I might do it at a later date and do like a little which wins out the next one sort of thing. But obviously this one is the original one. You can see that there. Again, it's not a bad film, but it's not a great film. It is basically a let's make some money off a Jaws film. That's basically what they do. Obviously, what I'm going to be doing next is this one, because this is the most modern remake. And we're going to watch this one next. And I know this film. I've watched this film before. I watched it at the cinema when it came out in 3D, and there are scenes that if you're like me in 2010, when you're sort of in your 20s, there are scenes. And I can't wait to dive into it. I've been looking forward to watching that one for a long time. I've had that for a while. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I keep looking at it. I just want to watch it because I remember it being just like, I know it's one of those films that are so over the top ridiculous that it's fun, and it knows it's that. This film knows what it is and gives it to you. It's a comedy. It's hilarious. It's violent. It's vicious, and it's ridiculous, and I loved it when I first watched it. So I'm really looking forward to watching it again. And I, I just I already know which one's going to be my favourite. After watching the original, I already know what's going to win this war, but I'm still going to do it anyway. So we're still going to watch this one tonight, or tomorrow night. So I'm going to watch this one tomorrow night, and then I'm going to give my verdict. All right, guys. So wish me luck. Right, so I've now done Piranha 3D, and it's brilliant. In every way, it is brilliant, isn't it? It's just like one of these gratuitous, gory, funny, hilarious, crazy, stupid movies, but it knows what it is and it plays up to it big time. And I've got to say, I just enjoyed from start to finish watching this film. I'd forgotten how many bare boobs you see in this film. They're everywhere in this movie. It's almost softcore porn parts, but I was just like, oh my god, like watching it, I couldn't believe it. But right, let's get into it. So compared to the first one, obviously, it's a much different film. It's hitting more at the comedy side of it. It's hitting more at the ridiculous side of it than the original. There are some insane moments in this movie and some proper horrific sort of stressful moments in this movie as well. So how it differs from the original is that instead of it being like biological warfare with the animals, sort of weaponizing the animals, it's basically the film starts off, and again another in-your-face Jaws reference. The film starts off with Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws. He's like the scientist guy from Jaws, who's in Close Encounters of very very famous actor. Is on a boat in the middle of a lake fishing, and there's an earthquake, and this earthquake sort of opens up a cave underneath the lake, and all these piranhas come out. But Richard Dreyfuss isn't just in the film; he's sitting there singing "Show Me the Way to Go Home," just like he does in Jaws. And I was just like, that's their arcade, like in your face. This is like based on like because of Jaws sort of moment, and that cracked me up. And then he basically gets there's like a whirlpool appears. He gets sucked into a whirlpool and gets eaten by piranhas, and there's a lot of blood. Then we sort of go to the town, we sort of meeting their characters in the town, because this all takes place on one of these gigantic lakes they have in America. Obviously, over here we've got smaller lakes than that. We've got locks that are really big, but in America, their lakes are massive. They're sort of like almost like mini seas in the middle of the country, sort of thing. And it's in one of these lakes. So obviously, he gets killed, and then you sort of further away on the lake, you sort of start to see this little town, this little village that lives on the lake, and you meet a guy called Jake and his sort of like would-be girlfriend. They're kind of having a bit of a moment, sort of not a good moment, sort of a bit of a separation sort of moment. She's sort of dating someone else as well. And then you meet his mum, who's the sheriff, who is played by Elizabeth Sue, who was like, when I was small, was like my first kind of crush, because obviously I love the Karate Kid movies. And obviously she's the girlfriend in the first one. It's kind of my first kind of like, oh, I like that girl, but I don't know why sort of moment. So she's in the movie. And I was just like, and she's still a very attractive woman as well. So it's like, oh my god. And everyone in this movie is attractive. There's too many attractive people, no ugly people except for, it's just a weird one of those weird sort of like, almost like Hollyoaks where everyone's good looking and they shouldn't be. But so she's in the movie. She plays the sheriff, and her deputy is Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction as well. So yeah, we meet Jake, and he's in town, and he meets this sort of like, because they're doing like a spring break thing in America where everyone goes wild, and there's like a porn director there being played by Jerry O'Connell, and he kind of hires Jake to go out with him on the boat because Jake knows the lake, to take him round and shoot some porn scenes basically. Now this is where this film like ramps up for me, is because one of the porn actresses is a famous lads magazine star from sort of like early 2000s called Kelly Brook, who was the girl I was kind of like, if you like lad magazine culture, everyone kind of had their favourite pin-up girl from there. She was my favourite pin-up girl, so it's like amazing that she's in this movie. And she's in the movie a lot as well. She has quite a major role in the movie. But if you know Kelly Brook at all, she's now like a radio DJ, and she's a lovely woman as well. Not only is she like stunning good looking. She's also a lovely woman, so it's great to see her like getting a role in a film and sort of going well. It's a shame her career didn't get off more than this in that sort of world. But now she's a radio DJ, does a lot of TV appearances and stuff, and she's generally just a lovely person. So like, well done to her. So this amazed me anyway, especially because I was in my what is it 2010. So I've been in my 20s. Anyway, so but brilliant, and yeah, so sort of forming a cast. So they're going on this boat to go on this trip, but he's supposed to look after so Jake is supposed to be looking after his younger siblings, a girl and a boy. He ends up paying them to stay at home while he goes off on this boat with this porn star. It's like his dream come true to be on this like porn director's boat with these two attractive women. While he's trying to get on the boat, however, the girlfriend shows up. The girl we kind of like shows up, and she ends up going on the boat with them. So you've got them on a boat there. You've got the two brother and sister who's supposed to stay at home. They get on a boat and they go off to this little island. And then you've got like the whole like spring break thing happening that the sheriff's trying to sort of control. Anyway, she gets called out because she hears about like this. The guy Richard Dreyfuss has gone missing. His wife's always phoned up, so she goes looking for him. Finds his body all chewed up. They realise something's going on. They got the seismologist guys coming down to investigate the earthquake that they sort of found out happened. They want to investigate that, so they come along to investigate that. So then you get a situation where the sheriff finds the dead body, obviously, of Richard Dreyfuss. There's the red flag right there. Then they take these seismologist guys out onto the lake to investigate where the earthquake happened, see if there's a sort of connection. They go down to investigate. They get attacked by the piranha. So now Elizabeth Shue, the sheriff, now knows it's these piranhas. They manage to catch one of the piranhas alive, and they sort of go to take it to like an expert. Like I guess he's like a fish expert, or he's owns a tropical fish shop or something. I'm not sure, but it's Christopher Lloyd as well, which is amazing because he's brilliant in everything. Is in Christopher Lloyd, and he's good in this as well, sort of the expert in fish. So we've got all these different little things happening all at the same time. So now we've got the spring break, we've got our sort of like hero sheriff team who are finding out more about the fish, and then we've got the two kids stranded on the island, and then you've got Jerry O'Connell, the porn director, with Jake and his girlfriend on a boat with these two porn stars as well, filming the porn stuff. So there's all these little sections happening all at the same time. It's sort of going from one story to another. And so we've got the sheriff now goes to see Christopher Lloyd, who's like the fish expert, and he basically says to her that and the fish expert, sorry about that, battery died. The fish expert is about to like drop a bombshell that these fish aren't like genetic fish, they're not like a special species, they're actually a prehistoric species that's died out millions of years ago, that have been living in this little cave system, kind of eating each other and surviving with each other. Now they've been let out, obviously they're in the lake just eating everything. So that's what they are, and they're really hyper aggressive and vicious. And they use like CGI to show the fish, but the fish model is actually really, really good. It's a really aggressive, nasty looking fish, but it looks fantastic. He then talks about how piranhas attack, how they sort of go in for the kill, they attack en masse and all that. We know there's thousands of these fish inside this lake as well. So we then sort of get her now, the sheriff's now trying to head to the spring breakers to try and, because she knows they're all going to be partying in the water. She doesn't know her son is in her son is in a situation where he's on a boat, doesn't know her other two children are stranded on an island. She doesn't know any of this. So she goes to sort out the spring breakers and goes that way. Then we get the guys on the boat, and they're recording. They do some like porny stuff, and the girl gets involved, and there's a lot of that going on. And you get to see a really cool underwater shot of Kelly Brook naked. So if you like that, enjoy that. And you can watch it in 3D as well, because obviously I've got my 3D glasses, so I got to watch it in 3D, which I watched at the cinema in 3D when I saw it the first time around. I was shocked then, I was shocked now as well. Pleasantly shocked. So yeah, so they're filming like some scenes, and then you got Jake, who's now filming outside the boat, watching one of these parasails. You know, they've got the boat and the rope and then the parachute. He's watching one of those, and he's filming that because the girl's got obviously everything out, because this film is all about that. And he's filming her, and then he spots through the camera from the distance. brother and sister are stuck on the island because they're basically by this little island. So he's like, oh God, now I've got to go get them. He talks it over with Jerry O'Connell, sort of like arsehole movie producer, director, and he doesn't want to go get him, but then he lets slip that his mum's the sheriff and they're all snorting substances. So obviously he panics and, oh yeah, we'll go get him, we'll go get the kids and that. So they bomb it over to get the kids. While this is happening, the parasailer dips into the water and then comes like got half of her missing because the piranhas have got her. So we've now got the sort of like the porn star team heading to the brother and sister to save them. They then get to them, get them on the boat, but the boat gets stuck in a load of stuff and gets stranded and then crashes and obviously starts to leak. So now the piranhas are now attacking the boat with the porn star crew and the family on board, the siblings on board. So they're trying to work a way out. All the while, we then go back to Spring Break, where the most amount of carnage you'll ever see in a film based in the water is happening. So piranhas attack the Spring Breakers, and they attack like crazy. You get people getting ripped apart. I think they must use like amputees for some of the scenes of like people with like limbs missing and stuff, like getting dragged out of things with limbs missing. They've got chunks missing out of them. You see like people's faces get ripped apart. And because there's so much, and everyone is screaming and trying to get on boats and things, there's like one of those floating stages with the scaffolding up it. Obviously, everyone tries to get on that, and that gets tipped over, and more people are getting in and out. You always get that one stupid bugger guy who tries to escape. So he jumps into a boat, speedboat by himself, and he goes bombing it through everyone. He's like hitting people with a boat, he's chopping people up with the propeller bit. And then his boat sort of conks out in the middle, so everyone starts swarming him. He pulls the propeller bit. There's some girl with her hair stuck in it, and she gets like scalped, and half her face comes off as well. This is a really gory movie. There's a lot of gory stuff in this, like proper. If you like your sort of like your blood splatter fest, and this is one for you. This scene especially is proper nasty. And you get people getting eaten, and then the sort of like fish swims out of someone's mouth. It's properly disgusting, you know, really over the top bad. So then we go back. So while this is happening, then go back to the boat where the thing is going on, and you get Jerry O'Connell and one of the porn stars falls in the boat. She gets ripped to pieces. He then gets like the lower half of him like munched away, and when Kelly Brook manages to pull him back out, he's literally from the waist down just like bone, and that's it. And he's like, he just keep going, they got my penis, they got my penis. Jake comes over, he's like, Jake, they got my penis, they got my penis, Jake. And then we see this scene, oh my God, where the fish is in the water, and then you see the penis floating along, and the fish goes and starts munching and eats the penis, and he spits it back out, and it's like half-eaten penis just floating around, and it's just like, oh my God, this is disgusting, it's proper filth, oh my God. And so then, like, he's now, then Jerry O'Connell's like director character, he dies. Derek, I think his name was. He dies. So Kelly Brook puts a sheet over him. So now all you've got left on the boat is like Kelly Brook, the two kids, and the girlfriend, or the sort of would-be girlfriend, and Jake, and they're all on the boat. But where the boat's crashed, it's got like a glass bottom, and that's smashed. All the water's come up, and it's basically separated Jake's would-be girlfriend, whose name is Kelly. I'm sure her name is Kelly. The would-be girlfriend, she's now stuck in the kitchen part of the boat on the sides, and the water's sort of rising, and the fish are trying to get to her, but obviously she's sort of safe, kind of, and they're trying to get her through a skylight, but the skylight's like locked and they can't get her out. So now we get the kids managed to get out to Jake. So we've got the four of them on top deck, which is the Kelly Brook porn star Kelly Brook. I can't remember her name in the film, but we'll call it Kelly Brook. We've got Jake, and we've got the brother and sister. And then we go back to the mum at Spring Break, and there's all, again, more carnage going on. They're trying to pull people out. They're trying to shoot people. The mum gets an idea. She gets a taser gun, shoots the water to kill some of the fish, but she's going to get a little small area. Then Marcellus Wallace from Pulp Fiction does the heroic, like, trying to save everyone. He's like, everyone get out of the water. He pulls the propeller off of a boat, and he gets it spinning and uses it like to cut the fish, and he's in the water like that, cutting the fish up. He's like hacking them down. And then obviously, like, the fish start to come at him, because there's thousands of them. They start coming at him, and they start taking him down. He's sort of getting lower in the water, and he's down, and you sort of just see him flop, and he sort of just goes quiet, and he just obviously dies. But he's trying to save everyone. So it's a proper hero's death, and it's great. He's in there like, wow, with the thing chopping them all up. Brilliant death scene, but like, sad that he dies, but still he gets a good send off in this like massive hero death. And then Elizabeth Shue's there, and she's like trying to save people. And that's when the phone goes, and she answers the phone, and it's her son, Jake, and he's like Mum, I've messed up. I'm on this boat. We're trapped. The boat's sinking. And she's like, oh, God. So now she has to get to him. So it's her and one of the guys that was one of the seismologist guys, which I forgot to mention, he's quite a famous actor as well. He was in Krampus, played the dad in Krampus. He's in a lot of films. Normally does comedy stuff, but he's in a lot of films. And him and Elizabeth Shue go off to try and save her son and the rest of them on the boat. So they drive off to the boat. They get to the boat, realise that they can't sort of like get them off the boat without, they have to put like a line, like a tether. So they tie it to the broken boat to their boat, and the seismologist guy has got to sort of like keep the boat in motion to make the rope tight. So Elizabeth Shue goes over and says, like, we've got to try and get her out, but you need to get across first. So she gets herself and the two kids in Kelly Brook to go on the rope. And this is where, like, even like my wife was watching with me at the time, and she went to me like, why don't they go over one at a time? Because they decide to all four of them go at the same time, so she causes the rope to dip. And then poor old Kelly Brook, she gets like, because she's leaning back and the fish get her hair and they drag her under face first and she gets like her face ripped off and then she drops into the water. And the other three get across. So you've got the two kids and Elizabeth Shue get across. And then Derek's like, I'm not coming. And he undoes the rope and ties it to himself. Says, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go under the boat to get the girl he probably loves out. This would want to be girlfriend one. He goes under the boat to get her. And then he says to him like, I'm going to give you a signal. That's when you drive the boat off and I zip out. So he goes under there. He throws Derek's body in first. What's left of Derek's body, because all the fish go to the body. He then goes to the other side of the boat, goes under the boat, gets to her, and he sets off all the gas in the boat, all the gas canisters, grabs her, and says like says to him on the count of 10, go. So he gets her, sets all the gas up, gets like a flare ready, dives under the water, comes out, and of course the boat obviously isn't going to start to give you more tension and stress. Isn't going to start. So he's like, oh my god, it's not working. Derek's holding onto the girl like under the water, like trying to hold his breath. And as the fish are coming back, and they're literally just about to surround, not Derek, sorry, Jake, so about to surround Jake and his girlfriend Kelly, and they're holding on for dear life to each other. The boat works and they get like zipped away and like manage to get out, which is great. So obviously the heroes are safe. Pulls them out, and obviously the flare goes in, and boom, big explosion, and then it luckily wipes out all of the fish. So all of the fish have left the spring bay, they've all come to this boat, which is where the food source is, and it wipes every single one of them out. And you're like, wow, and you get that, and you get the classic horror movie moment where they're like, yeah, we've killed them all, they're all dead, brilliant, we're all alive, except for the ones that died, but we're all alive, it's great. The family on the boat with the guy, the seismologist guy. And then Elizabeth Shue's phone rings, and it's Christopher Lloyd, the fish expert from earlier. And he's like, yeah, I've been looking at the fish, and they don't have mature reproductive sex organs. And she's like, what does that mean? He goes, it means they're not mature. They're just all babies. And then like you get the seismologist guy, he goes to the edge of the boat, and he's like, they're all babies. What does that mean? And next thing you know, this gigantic piranha, like a jump scare, just bosh, hits him and drags him out the boat, and you're just like, and that's when the film ends and the credits roll. Better ending than the original film, I've got to give it that. And oh my god, it was a joy, this film, because it's ridiculous. It's like, and I remember I watched it in the cinema, and it was a fun ride in the cinema. I did the old 3D, you know, when 3D got massive for a while, didn't it? And you had the 3D glasses, then you watch it in the cinema, all like that. And it was a great film to watch in 3D, I ain't gonna lie. It was a fun film to watch in 3D. There's a lot of the whole, like the classic 3D, like, oh, look at this sort of stuff in there as well, you know, there's a lot of that. But when I watched this film, I watched most of it I watched about half of it in 3D with the glasses on, with the classics. Now, if you're like me and you wear glasses yourself, you have to put them over the top of your own glasses. So I watched most of the film like this, with the glasses over my glasses, so I could still see the film. But I will get, after like about 40 minutes of this, I started getting a bit of a headache. It was starting to affect me a bit, so I was like, I'm going to have to stop. So I stopped, went on to the 2D version, and it's just as good, to be honest. You don't need to watch it in 3D. But I did the 3D because I wanted to experience it as much as I could, like I did before. I mean, in this Blu-ray, you actually get the proper 3D. You know, if you had the 3D TVs and the 3D players and that, you can actually have the proper version of it. But sadly, I've only got like a normal DVD player, and Blu-ray player and a normal TV, but it's still brilliant. So actually the 3D glasses, so not as good, but still fun. So to decide which one is better, it's obvious I'm going for the remake is better, which is shocking me because when I started doing these remake versus new ones, the remake versus original, sorry, I always thought it would always be the originals winning every time. I always thought, oh, the remake sucks, they're not as good. I thought it'd be this every time, but it's not. Most of the time it's been this, and I shot myself in that. I really have shot myself. However, I know the next one I do of this, the next one is not going to be the same story. I'll get on to that in a minute. So yeah, definitely my favourite one because it is mental. And if you are, I think if you're a teenage boy into horror movies, this is probably going to be your favouriteest film of all time. I said it was 2010. I'm trying to work out how old I was in 2010. I think, I know, was I 20, 29? No, I can't remember. I'm old. But I was at the age where sort of I was reading lads mags at the times. I was like FHM and Nuts magazine and Zoo magazine. And I said Kelly Brook was massive in those magazines. Although she's not just that, she's actually quite an intelligent woman and she does a lot of great TV stuff. But she was my idol girl. In fact, she's in it. And you've got my child sort of like first cinema crush girl of Elizabeth Shue in this as well. So like it was like my world. Oh my god, everything I've ever wanted is in one film. And you've got a horror side of it, and I love my horror films. You've got an animal side of it, I love animals. So it's like this film was made for me at the time. Now looking back at it, it is a bit too much boobage. There's a bit too much of that going. So there's a lot of stuff I can watch with my children. If that side weren't in it, I probably would watch it with my kids as like a fun horror film. But because all that sex stuff is in it, you can't watch it with children. It's just too embarrassing and it's too much for them. But it's very good to watch, just sort of like me on board. I want to laugh and giggle and just act like a silly little boy. It's a good one for me to watch. And I suggest you go and watch it yourself because it is fun. If you haven't seen it and you just want to, it's a very 80s style film that was made in the 2000s. But if it is ridiculous, it is over the top and mental. But it is worth your time to sit down and watch it if you just want a stupid film to laugh at. It'll be a good film for like you and your mates to get together and just have a watch the way you used to do when you was young. You know, you get your mates around, you'd all watch a film together and laugh about it. You might drink your few beers and have your popcorn and that. It's that type of movie, you know. I watched it with my wife and she was laughing at bits of it and going, oh my god, at bits of it. And so it is worth a watch for anyone to watch. So that's it. So yes, so as I said a minute ago, the next time I do this, the original remake thing, it's going to be a different story. I already know now which one is better and which one's worse because I am doing A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm doing the original and I'm doing the remake. And we're going to see which one's better. Oh, after I watched one of those versions of the film, I said I'd never watch this movie again. And I'm going back to it again. Just because I want to do one of these. And as I said, I always thought the originals would win out, but the ones I've done so far, the remakes are actually kind of winning a little bit. They've held their own at least. I thought to myself, what can I do to make that different, to give it a different dynamic? And I know Nightmare on Elm Street is the one that's going to do it. So if you want to watch the Nightmare on Elm Street one, please subscribe to this channel. You'll see the Nightmare on Elm Street one come up if you subscribe, and subscribing costs you nothing. There is a bit of thing going on where people assume that when you subscribe to other things you have to pay on YouTube. If you subscribe to a channel, it costs you absolutely nothing. It's just a way for the channel to sort of like keep popping up on your YouTube screen. Also, it's a little notification bell, so it will let you know when another video comes out. It might not be my next video, the Nightmare on Elm Street one. It might be a future video because something else might happen between now and then. A trailer or something might drop. So just let you know that's the situation. Also, if you'd like to share, if you know anyone that's interested in the Piranha films that's kind of got a funny take on it, please share it with them so they can watch it. And also, if you let me know what you thought was the better one. Do you prefer the original over the remake? What do you think of the remake? Did you enjoy it? Are you like me of that age where lads magazines were a big thing, so this was obviously like linked to that in a way? And do you think a film like that now, I mean, a lot of the stuff in that now, that's not going to fly with today's woke generation at all, is it? Let's be honest, the woke generation are not going to like this movie. But yeah, please message. Let's have a conversation. I read all the messages I get on this. I always do, and I always reply as well. And let's have a little chat. Anyway, enjoy yourselves, guys, and have a good day. And just stay out of the water. If there's bad fishing, if someone says to you, don't go in water, don't go in it. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.